This morning I came to the market. I've been dying to come to buy some fresh fruit and specific ones that I know I won't be able to find anywhere else.
¿En cuánto está la sandía? 10.
Unfortunately, most of the things are not in season, and we seem to be experiencing a crazy drought that hopefully comes to an end soon. So the things I usually find, I couldn't. Still, going to the market is kind of special because it's such a unique experience that you don't really get in many places.
Buenas. ¿Qué quiere la bebida?
Pero no tengo para llevar.
Ah, bueno,
Sí.
gracias.
Bueno.
We needed fruit today, and I got a new way of carrying it.
If you saw my last video about the market, you'll know how hard it is for me physically. If you haven't, I will tag it below.
So I really thought the backpack, instead of like a normal tote bag, would help. But it's so heavy. I mean, it was better. It was better because the tote bag will eat away at my shoulder. I think if you're single and buying for one person, it's totally fine to shop at the mercado. Otherwise, I don't know. It's rough. It's rough. And I couldn't find anything to drink. Cold to drink, I should clarify.
My last month in Mexico, I've been trying to balance what I can do and how I can do it. My chronic illness has been really bad and it doesn't seem to be progressing.
But this was my goal. They're out of seasons. I haven't been able to find them. But one vendor in the whole entire market, well, the part that I looked at them, I love these. This looks so good when I picked it up, but it got a little bit smashed. We are still eating it though. Right after some water.
Ice is definitely a perk.
Thank you so much, Nancy. I think this is the best cup of water I've ever had. Did not forget. Good morning, sunshine. We're washing these.
The water here in San Cristobal is not very good, so it's very important to wash anything fresh.
And because I've been sick so many times, we're using soap. Because I am done with stomach bugs. No more.
The water illness is just so common here. Most people that come will be sick for a couple of months at least before they get used to the whole ordeal. So I have my own fruit sponge. And I wanted to make cucumber jam today.
It's funny that I usually don't have a hard time spending money. I feel like every cent I spend is very intentional, and therefore I deserve whatever it is I'm purchasing. For some reason, paying to take a cab from the mercado home because it's so close, relatively close, not totally close, makes me feel guilty. So I think I kind of forced myself to take a cab today because hashtag slow living, you know? If I'm taking care of myself, I felt okay for 3 days now. Today's the third day. And I'm gonna climb a mountain? No. I'm gonna take a cab home because the bag was really heavy and it was really hot and I couldn't find anything to drink. Oops. I couldn't find anything to drink, so it's $2.50. What am I thinking? I don't know.
Seems like such a simple thing, but sometimes those habits that you've had since childhood are the hardest to break. And I've always been a climb the mountain type of person, so I am reteaching myself to take it slow. And I have to say that for the most part, I've had 6 years doing this and I'm getting used to it. But there's still certain things that you don't even realize are pre-programmed into your brain. And for some reason, taking the cab is one of those things.
I eyeball everything. This is the first time I make a cucumber jam, but I love tomato jam, which is what I'm making next. And I had to try cucumber. And we're using a little bit of this. Do you hear that? The eggs hatched. I think somebody's hungry. Okay, need to focus. I think I'm gonna put the whole thing, that way I can pull it out when it's done, because we don't want gritty jam. So, it smells so good. And the last ingredient, my inspiration was gin and tonic. I don't know how it'll come out, but it's exciting to try.
And a moderate gin and tonic, because not only will it have lime, but also rosemary and the cucumbers. Don't knock it till you try it.
Okay, all these tomatoes, 10 pesos. All those tomatoes. Incredible.
Definitely gonna miss the price points. I feel like I have so much more flexibility here with getting fresh items.
Look at all that. Already letting out so much water. In the meantime, we're gonna try a níspero. Here they're called zapotes. Back home we call them nísperos. And in Florida there's plenty of trees that have these, but they're rarely found in the supermarket.
So luckily you have a neighbor that has a tree, and when it's season, it's full of them and you can enjoy. I feel like the most common things in my area, Miami, is these, avocado and mango.
It has these big seeds, and then the inside is almost like a custard. It is delicious.
Just melts in your mouth.
Another one. I mean, they're super ripe. If I don't eat them now, they're gonna go bad, right? I have to eat another one.
They actually do go bad. I know I was being sarcastic, but I think there's less preservatives in everything here, so things go bad fast.
I moved to the sink because it's so juicy that it's leaking everywhere. And then I remember my grandma used to eat like this when I was little, which is funny because she's the one that taught me how to make tomato jam. But she would always eat over the sink, and I never really questioned it. But as an adult, I totally get it. Why dirty a dish? Why dirty a dish with something like a piece of fruit when you could just eat over the sink? Genius. It's genius. Slight warning. Níspero trees or zapote trees have a lot of sap, and the sap stays in the skin. So now the sap is all over my fingers. So if you're allergic to anything like that, just beware. It's a white and milky sap. Super sticky, hard to get rid of.
And strawberries I clean, and all berries I clean with water and vinegar.
Tiny. I don't know if you can tell how tiny they are. Oop. I looked away and that happened. So I'm gonna add a little bit of water.
That's because the sugar usually caramelizes when it's too concentrated.
Well, I mean, they'll end up having a different flavor profile because of the caramelization. Oh well, I'm gonna take this out too. unexpectedly delicious. Now it's coming along.
I usually cut these into little cubes, and this time I decided not to, just to try it out. But the texture is really nice when it's cut into cubes. In that case, I don't smash it or anything like that. I just leave it as is, kind of like I made the cucumber jam. It's just a matter of preference. But in this case, I wanted something kind of fluid, kind of jelly-like, so I decided to blend it. The bowl step was definitely not necessary. I just thought it was going to be too much for the blender, but it was not the case. And I only blended it slightly to get rid of the skin. And then I boiled it for a little bit longer.
Delete the sugar and add some herbs, and you have a sauce for 60 cents.
That's pretty good. Season the lid. Probably use this for the tomato.
Unfortunately, no lid, so I have a backup plan. These are my backup plan. I think I'm gonna use these. I'm not gonna pressure seal them because they'll be gone soon.
And because I haven't really been able to find canning jars here, which totally rare, but I guess you can technically can with any jar or recycled jar. I'm not well versed in that, so I make things to eat quickly.
That's good. We still have to wait 2 days though.
And that's how the peptin can activate. It takes about 24 to 48 hours to activate and give it that thick consistency. I really like making my own jam because I have more control of the amount of sugar that goes into it and the preservatives and things like that.
If you eat dairy, yeah, look at my finger. That's from the pot. If you eat dairy, eat this with like butter and like French bread and butter. Perfect combo.
Now my day isn't over. My daughter had to go to the dentist, so we decided to head out and have lunch together. I try to spend as much time with them as I can. Yes, this is the one that turned 15. If you haven't seen that video, I'll tag it below too. And she really enjoys doing girly things, and we really bond during meal times. Now we did have to go get cash out before anything, so we did our traditional walk through the centro, which she pointed out that you guys might be bored of looking at. But it's a necessity. We have to go to the bank every time we go out because cash runs out quick. And this is a hotel that we stayed at when we first arrived because our first apartment had to be fumigated. And I love it. I really do. And we don't come here often. It's more like a special occasion kind of place. But I think it was one of the places we had to go before we left. And I treated myself to a drink. I haven't had one in 3 months. So I think I deserved it. It was a little treat. It was a cucumber and mezcal drink. And then they gave us this, it was kind of like a ceviche without the fish. Again, with cucumber. Seems to be the fruit of the day. Service is really good here. They're really, it's like an elegant setting, so they treat you, they're extra attentive, I guess you could say. And the food is always so fresh. This was delicious. I'd never had this dish before, but I was craving fish so much.
One of my favorite things about this place is that the food is always so fresh. Like every ingredient. They even have like a little area that they grow their fresh herbs and things like that. I love fresh food. And I think it's one of the things I miss about living on a coast, having the freshness. So Love this place. Totally recommend.
The freshness of seafood specifically. We've been craving sushi and trying to get sushi here, and most of the sushi type of fish is only available frozen.
That's where Kiara lives.
So it was really nice to have that. And even though we've been down this road a bunch of times, it's really nice to walk and explore. And yes, back at the dentist again. But you know what? We're gonna miss it all.
So excited. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.